On behalf of the Ryokan College Board of Directors, I am happy to extend my congratulations to the 2014 class of graduates and families. From our humble beginnings, and still on this day, I'm personally grateful for the vision and steadfast dedication of our institutional founders, Dr. Alan Marcia Ross, and for the lives and inspiration of their son, Bruce, who took the name Ryokan after a revered Buddhist monk and poet during his all too short but exemplary life, and to their daughter, Karen, who continues the family tradition, faithfully keeping our books and our finances in order, among other things. We all have a history. For many of you, this degree completes your formal education, but as adult learners, I have great faith that you will continue your learning, as Mark Twain might have said it, long after your educating is over.
So this is still really surreal for me. I have a very interesting background. I was a straight F student. I flunked the 9th grade. I was addicted to drugs and alcohol for 27 years of my life and had no hope. And I was reintroduced into school and ended up finding out that I was good at it and I like to learn. And here I am today, 9.5 years later with a master's degree, and it's just blowing my mind. To keep it short, I just want to thank everyone in that row over there. Those are my children, my mom, my grandma, my family, and they've supported me and heard me scream and cry, those papers, ah! You know what I mean? But thank you, you guys, and to my husband who couldn't be here.
When I started at Ryokan in January of 2013, I was in awe. And the reason I was in awe was because I was actually learning from clinicians who were out there in the field, actually working as psychotherapists, many of them every day. And that was very powerful, and that was very transformative for me because it was so practical, and I could actually draw from their actual experience. Not only are they adept clinicians, but they're very accomplished academicians as well, and they draw from both of those, their experience and their scholarship, and it was very powerful, and it's still very powerful in the doctoral program right now. And so I'd like to say a special thank you to all my instructors and professors. I think you've made more of an impact on me than you probably know, and to my student colleagues as well, and the administration of Ryokan, who've been so helpful every time I call and have a question.
This experience at Ryokan has been amazing to me. I was a little hesitant to go into the online academic world thinking it wasn't going to be interactive enough or interesting enough. And I was blown away by, first of all the professors I want to thank. They were amazing. Everyone brought their expertise and practical knowledge and academic knowledge to every course. I loved working with my cohort members. As Jeffrey was saying earlier, it's amazing all of the practical knowledge that everybody brought, heads of clinics. I learned so much about so many fields in the mental health profession. It was really, really rewarding. So Ryokan did a really great job, and I'm really appreciative of it. And I want to thank my boyfriend out there, Mads George, who's been very supportive through 13 years of constant learning and trainings and conferences. So thank you very much. And my brother-in-law right there, Lars, for coming from Spain to support me too. So thank you.
Well, it's a real delight to be here, and I want to thank so many people for being here. This is actually the culmination of a 32-year-old goal. I first set out, yeah. As I was sharing with Dr. Olson, my advisor earlier, I first got accepted into a doctorate program at UC Santa Barbara way back in '82. But life events took another course, and it was another 10 years before I tried again. another life event and wasn't back in school. And then it took quite a few more years, and I knew at some point in my life the right program at the right time would happen. Thank you, Ryokan, for being part of that, because that was what I needed, and that's what made it finally happen. And at the same time, it took another 3 years, though, for coursework to start, so I want to thank Ryokan again for being patient through 3 very difficult years. But at this point, I did it. In fact, I woke up earlier this week at 4 o'clock going, oh my God, what do I got to do? How much time do I have to do it? Oh, it's done. Oh, I actually have it done. So it's in its very final stages, going back FedEx tomorrow. Thank you very much. It's done. I can't tell you how good it is to get a full night's sleep again. But I want to thank, first of all, my kids. I know that, thanks for giving me the space to do this, because I know I wasn't always there for you. Hank, for your guidance, support, and pushing me along when I least wanted it. And again, my fellow graduates, congratulations. We are on to the next chapter of our life. Thank you again.
First of all, I'd like to say good afternoon to everyone. And I would like to thank Ryokan administrators, staff, and instructors for always being professional, courteous, and helpful during my time of need and assistance. The Doctoral Psychology and Marriage Family Therapy PsyD program, designed specifically for the MFT and the MSW profession, has perfectly met my educational needs. Most of my classes were practical, and I really enjoyed the courses that were interactive the best. This learning experience challenged me both psychologically and educationally, and it has been a wonderful journey of growing and learning. Since a very young age, I desired to help hurting individuals and families, and this program has equipped me with the skills I need to move my professional career to the next level. I would like to take a moment to recognize a few very important people in my life. I'd first like to start with my mom. Stand up, Mom. I thank my mom for instilling in me the importance of education, integrity, and hard work, and for supporting my every endeavor. I want to also publicly acknowledge my mother's most recent achievement as the president of the NAACP Los Angeles chapter.
Wow. Good afternoon, everyone. Not even in my wildest dream, I would think that a young lady that came from Dominican Republic would be here studying, receiving my doctorate degree. In life, it's very important to take good decisions. To me, this year has been very good. It has been a great year, but last year was even better, because last year I took the decision to go to Ryokan College and finish my education. I'm very thankful to my family as a support system, my outside reader, Dr. Brown, which has been very supportive to me. I have 5 children. They all here with me, supporting me. I had 2 nephews. I have my sisters, nieces. Michael Nelson, you have been great support to me. I've been working in this field for many years, and I am currently the CEO and president of Best Behavioral Healthcare. It's an outpatient mental health facility located in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. We see a lot of Latino population. I'm so glad to be here this afternoon with you guys, sharing this moment with you. I'm very proud of myself. I have to say that. Congratulations to the graduated class 2014. You guys have the tool. We acquired this tool at Ryokan College, which is a great college. I have to say that I never saw so much organization and a fast response for everything. It's just great to be there. I have a great experience. To my cohort, Michelle, thank you for sharing with me all the knowledge. Deborah, Dana, she's not here, but they have been a great team. We work together, work a lot, and we have the tool for be successful in life. Just go out there, be a change agent, and be supportive to the community. Thank you very much.
I also really want to acknowledge the hundreds of clients that I've served over the past 15 years as a marriage and family therapist. Most of them have experienced significant trauma, abuse, and neglect. And they have shared with me their stories and their pain and their hopefulness. And I realize being at Ryokan how much I have learned from them and how important it is to keep learning. So it has been a real gift to have instructors and colleagues who I respect so much and who have inspired me. Thank you.
I wanted to ask Dr. Greer what he was doing here today because he should be home reading my dissertation. A teacher affects eternity. You can never tell where their influence stops. I'm sorry, I'm very...
I don't know if I'll be able to do this. I want to thank my son, Michael. And Deborah, his mother. If it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be able to do this. This is something I've been... Oh, God. This is hard. This is a lot harder than I thought. So this is something that I have been seeking for a very long time. It goes back, 25 years ago when I first started off with my bachelor's degree. I had set a goal for myself that I wanted to get a doctorate. But like yourself, I was in a doctorate program many years ago. Life happened. I went off on a tangent. Life happens. But with my son, I was able to kind of, ground myself, find my place and come back and succeed. One of the reasons why you asked us to talk about what we're doing, the population we work with, I think a lot of us, well, maybe some of us, we come into this field and, we think about, at least for me, being a psychologist and having an office in a high-rise building with these, high-end clients, and it's a nice life and you're making a lot of money. But the funny thing happens, when you get out there and you work. And even though I had those aspirations of having that, unfortunately, well, I shouldn't say unfortunately, fortunately, life happened and I actually went in a different direction. And though I have my private practice, I work with not the very wealthy, but the very poor. And for me, it's very rewarding because I work with a lot of, children, adolescents, and I work with adults, but a lot of my work is with, young children, adolescents who have been abused. They struggle with substance abuse. It's very tough, as therapists. We hear a lot of heartbreaking stories. I'm sure, many in the audience here, you guys have probably maybe experienced some of those. So it's rewarding work. I love it. It's, maybe not what, when I first started, what I envisioned the population working with, but man, it's every day going to work, getting to help people who, especially people who are underprivileged, minorities. I work with, I work way, I don't even work in the LA area. I work way out where nobody else wants to work. I work with Native American population, Hispanic, Caucasian population. And it's so rewarding, it's so fulfilling, and it's something to have a job that you love going to work every day for. You're making a difference in people's lives. So that's kind of my story. So thank you very much.
Let's see, where is my family? Over there. Yeah, I really need to thank my wife, Dorothy, and also Destin, my son, and my daughter, Emma. I'm a practicing attorney right now. I do mostly divorce law, and so then the idea of becoming a marriage and family therapist originally was kind of ironic. But so I could tell people, you know, as a therapist, if it doesn't work out, you can pay me a few $1,000s and we'll, you know, finish it up. But the last couple of years studying with my cohort over here, it's been just really awesome. I can honestly say that I am a different person than I was 2 years ago. I believe that I care about people more than I did 2 years ago. I believe that I am more, or how do I say, less prejudiced, more tolerant, and more educated, so to speak. I'm less bigoted and less ignorant than I was 2 years ago. And a big part of that is my cohort, and a big part of that also is the teachers and the professors that have put us through the material, forced us to do our own work. We have to dig deep and really challenge ourselves in this program, and it's been really awesome. In the future, I hope to integrate what I've learned in the degree that we're receiving today with my practice of the law, and try to perhaps influence judges and other attorneys and people in the legal profession to be less ignorant and less prejudiced, and perhaps improve the system.
Dr. Greer, can you please just say Dr. Julie Kokesh?
Dr. Julie Kokesh.
Okay. Thank you very much. Actually, I'll start with you. Thank you, Dr. Greer, for one, being my dissertation advisor and taking all my emails and phone calls, and then honoring my request to do something a little outside of the box. For those of you that know, my dissertation was the psychological manifestations of internet addiction in the digital native population. And you can read it if you want to know what that means. But thank you so much for letting me approach that topic.
Good afternoon, everybody. It has been a long journey. You know, today I celebrate an achievement. For some of us, today is the end of a project. Mine began in 2007 when I met with Dr. Arthur. When I started my master's program at Ryokan College. You know, it's been a long journey. The two people I wish the most to be here present, my parents, have moved on to the afterlife. They were here when I graduated from my master's program. The last conversation I had with my dad last year was the approval of my dissertation. I thank everyone who has supported and nurtured me to this point. No one has such success without a lot of great people beside him or her. I thank Ryokan College for giving me the golden opportunity to study in this discipline. You reminded me when I walked into the door 6 months. When I started with Ryokan College, I wasn't able to get a student's loan. I paid cash. And I understand the persona of America. Ryokan College, being a performance-driven institution through the lens of humanity, has typified and actually personified to me the richness of American story. I know what I represent in the therapy room. I know what I am. What my parents gave me, you reinforced. Yes. Your teachers, your tutors, Dr. Diana Muzio, you gave me the ABCs of my dissertation. The online referral you gave me made the biggest difference. But yeah, the role plays we did in the classroom, the profound, rich educational materials, They made a difference. You changed my story. You changed my story. I currently work with sex offenders. My previous internship was with in a drug and alcohol counseling center. And in everywhere I went, they always wanted to retain me. And Ryokan College made the difference. Thank you so much. Thank you, guys.
Desde que era niño, mi papá me dijo, estudia para que no trabajes como burro como yo. Y me dijo eso años y años y años, siempre me lo estaba diciendo. Pero también me llevaba a trabajar. Entonces, toda esa disciplina que él me enseñó a trabajar, eso me ayudó. Eso me ayudó para estudiar. Y luego siempre cuando estaba en la escuela, siempre apoyándome, siempre diciéndome, pues sí, mijo, no te preocupes del dinero, no, tú vete a estudiar, tú vete a estudiar. Sin el apoyo de mi papá no hubiera podido estar aquí hoy. Y mi mamá me regaló el regalo de la fe. Ella desde niño también me enseñó a saber que creer en Dios es la única manera que puedo estar aquí y que hay un propósito para mi vida que es más grande que lo que yo pienso. También tuve una etapa en mi vida donde yo quise huir de Dios, pero Dios no me dejó porque Él tenía más planes mejores para mí. Y mis hermanas, mi hermana Mercy, que jura que es mi mamá, ella me cuida, me apoya, me ama, me ayuda y me regaña como no más como las hermanas mayores pueden hacer. Y tengo mi hermana menor. Yo como su hermano mayor tengo una responsabilidad de ser una persona que tú admires. Pero también para apoyarte a ti, que puedas desarrollar en la manera que tú eres. Y me encanta verte cómo te estás desarrollando. Mis suegros, también por todo el apoyo que ellos me dieron. Todas las horas de plática, de la psicología, cuidando a Natalie, cuidando a los niños, yo yendo para San Diego y luego desapareciendo para estudiar. Todos los tecitos y los cafés que me ofreció Noris para poder seguir estudiando. Tampoco puedo, esto no hubiera sido posible sin ustedes. Y Natalie, pues sin ti nada hubiera sido posible. Desde que empezamos este camino, tú sabías y yo sabía que iba a ser que yo no iba a desaparecer, no iba a estar ahí, y de todos modos me apoyaste. Fuiste una mamá soltera por más de 2 años y tú me ayudaste y te aseguraste que mis prioridades eran en estudiar, a veces hasta fuerzas. For those of you who don't speak Spanish, I just gave the best speech to my family. I encourage you to learn. And then watch the taping, in a few years. Lastly, you missed the first part, right? My kids, so I have 2 kids. I have a 7-year-old and a 2-year-old. And one of the things is, so it's every immigrant's story to come to the United States, because they want their children to have more opportunities. They want their children to have a better life. My notes are in Spanish. No, I'm translating, so you got to, bear with me a little bit on this. And it was because of my parents, and it was because of this idea that studying is important, that they instilled in me since I was a little kid, that kind of got me to where I am today. And I think I've achieved that dream, their dream, which is also, it's become my dream too. And the best part is, so now my kids aren't immigrants, I'm not an immigrant, but my kids have a different, the expectations, the bar is a little bit higher. The bar for me was to go to school, and I did that, and we all did that, and then we kept doing it, and then we did it some more, and then when we thought we were done, right? Everyone thought we were done. We did it some more because that's the passion that we have, and so that's what I want my son to see. That's what the model. That's the kind of man I want them to be. I have 2 boys, so I want them to be those kind of men, those men that come together and they educate themselves. There's a philosophy in my family and my wife's family as well, and my wife captures it perfectly. She tells, my son, he goes, I don't want to get married. Can I just live with you forever? And we say, sure. And so my wife tells my son, look, there's only 2 things you have to do. You have to go to school and you have to go to church. After that, anything else is really up to you. And I realized that's a philosophy that my parents instilled in me. That's a philosophy that her parents instilled in her. And so now we've adopted that. And so that's the philosophy I instill in my children. So I dedicate this degree to all of them, and especially to my children. I hope to see my children on a stage like this receiving a doctorate in about 15 or 20 years or so. Thank you.
I'm happy about this. I'm very relieved that it's over. Thank you, God, that it's over. And I want to thank all the faculty that I've gone through hell with. I want to say thank you so much. It really has meant a lot to me. And I have a very special friend now, Monica, who has absolutely saved my life and kept me here. So thank you all so much. Thank you.
I really want to share a little bit because I think that Dr. Pereda just talked a little bit about what it means to be an immigrant. I'm sorry. I came to this country 13 years ago with him. And I went through a lot. Then I had my daughter. All my family's in Argentina. And when I moved here, people tell me, what are you going to do there? I've been a clinical psychologist in Argentina since 1990. When I moved to this country, my degree was considered a bachelor's. So I said, okay, what do I need to do to be a therapist? You need to get a master's. I didn't know about Ryokan then. So when I got my master's, so I said, okay, well, now to get licensed. So I became licensed as a marriage and family therapist. But I always had in my head, I'm going to be a doctor here. Not just because of the title, not because of my practice, but I wanted to show them that when you are in this country full of opportunities, you can really do whatever you want to do if you work hard. So then I met Dr. Arthur, that I'm very, very thankful, because I told him I have no idea about computers. I am one of those persons that move the mouse up and down like this. And he says, we'll give you support and you'll do it. And I did. And I want to thank my kids, Pedro and Lourdes, for being my inspiration. Because if I can be here, you can, remember, I'm immigrant. You are first generation here. You can do much more than this. I want to thank Brian, my fiance, who fixed my computer, brought me dinner when I was in the middle of my classes. I was screaming from my office, Brian, this is not working, and calling on the phone and doing all that. I want to thank Jose, my best friend here, who made sure that my Spanish made sense in English when I was doing my postings and my papers. And I want to thank you, all the professors that were so patient with my English as a second language, and my cohort that I learned a lot from them. And in particular, I want to dedicate this to my dad, who couldn't be here today, gracias papi, who's in Argentina, there are 5 siblings, and he couldn't finish college, and he always says, not what you're going to do, what are you going to study? The point was, when I told him, well, the last thing I need to do is my doctorate here, he says, okay, when are you going to do it? And he said, well, Dad, it's hard, you know, with 2 jobs, 2 kids, you can do it. So here I am. And I also want to thank, a special thank you to my patients that, I like to call them patients and not clients because I think they are very patient. And they keep my life and my thinking and my own suffering in perspective. And they come to us with all these histories of pain, and they get naked in front of us. And that's a lot of trust to put on us. So I think that needs to give us the responsibility to get better and better. And especially for the Latino community that I work daily. And that I think that a lot of therapists needs to know about Ryokan to start making differences in people, because people believe that getting a doctorate is impossible. And yes, it takes a lot of work, a lot of support, but it's doable. So thank you so much to all of you.
The diversity that I am, representing for Ryokan is, I'm the gay population. But, okay, there you have it. But it just goes to show you, in life, you're always dealing with some kind of diversity, and Ryokan teaches us in our courses, and, hopefully we're learning at our work, too, that it's all about diversity, whether someone's from another country, like several people here who I have just met, or whether you're here and you represent another diversity. And you have to remember, when you're working with these people, you know, everybody's diverse. You have to learn, you have to be respectful, you have to be educated, like Jim said, you have to keep improving. So that's what I want to do. I work in outpatient mental health now, but what I want to do is I want to go to either the jails or the universities. You do the math on that. It's where some of the money is.
My appreciation goes to Ryokan College for affording me this opportunity to finally fulfill this long wish of mine to get my doctoral degree. My gratitudes to all the faculties and my wonderful cohorts who shared their wisdom with me throughout the past 2 years and allowed me to express myself in those never-lasting or never-ending message board posts and long final papers, but we did it. I do want to share with you that when I started this program 2 years ago, I was going through perhaps the most difficult years of my life, where a lot of things were falling apart, and I was trying so desperately to hold things together. And going back to school was perhaps the most irrational decision I could have made at that time. People were telling me that you're going to go crazy, you're going to go insane. And the only thing that kept my sanity was this program and studying psychology. So that's why I'm thankful for it. I guess there is a diagnosis in DSM-5 for this condition when your craziness leads you to a right pathway, if I'm not mistaken. So I do want to tell my children that if I did it, you can do it much better than me. And thank you to my son, Kian, for always reminding me that, Mom, you can do it. You can finish this. And I did it. Thank you. And last but not the least, my dream is to be able to integrate psychology into my existing practice of Chinese medicine and focusing on adolescents and young adults who struggle with the challenges of life. Thank you.